I wanted to briefly tell you what's going on with Tarkov. So
I was going to talk about that.
This is pretty what they've done here. Tarkov's a big video game made by Battlestate Games, a Russian company that operates out of London. And long ago, they introduced a version of their game called the EOD edition, the Edge of Darkness edition, which all of us who love the game purchase. It's like $150, $140 for this version of the game, $100 extra dollars. And it's a better version. It's not pay to win, though. They just don't make it so hard. They make it a little bit easier to play. And there are a few things, and everybody bought that version that loves the game. And part of that thing was the EOD version. It says all future DLCs will be free. So when you're in an early access situation like I was 3 or 4 years ago, it's like, this is going to be a big game. This is going to be a multi-year game. This will be a game 5 years from now.
Can I jump in just to help? Mm-hmm. But at the time, it's a beta game, and you're buying the game based on its future.
Okay. Yes. And so the idea of paying that $150, I was like, I'm helping them further develop their game, and they have promised in return that they're not going to nickel and dime me in the future. They're not going to say, hey, we've got a new this, $5, a new that, $10. It's like, I don't like that. Well, they got rid of the Edge of Darkness edition in January. They stopped selling it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I've got mine. And eventually, it was an early access thing, and they're moving very close to full release, like the part where they like wipe their hands and we're done. They've released a new version of the game. This one costs $250, and it gives you some pay to win shit. And so they want another $100 out of me to have the good version of the game now, even though I was promised that nothing like this could even possibly happen. And one of the things is an offline co-op mode, so that you and your friends can go in and play like a horde mode. And it's like, that's DLC. That's what you promised was going to be free going forward. And there's also and they also give you, this is a game that has AI in it as well as other enemy players. And so the AI will blow your cover sometimes. They'll be sniping at you and shit. There's a part of buying the $250 version is you can get a thing that makes it so that the AI doesn't shoot at you anymore if they're 60 meters away. So now you don't have to worry about, there's a mechanic where there are snipers up on like rooftops and stuff as you traverse the game, and they'll shoot at you from hundreds of meters away. And it's like, holy fuck, he's going to kill me. He blew my arm off. No longer. Don't worry about that. You paid the $250. And the Tarkov has this very tightly knit community of content creators. Yes, they are all, people are changing their names. They're like, I'm not Noise Tarkov anymore. Yes. I ain't my name no more.
I'm just Noise guy.
I'm just Noise, not Noise Tarkov. Fuck that shit. People, pretty much universally, all the content creators aren't just are saying what I'm saying. This is bullshit. They've lied to us. We need to find a new game. I'm not going to play that game anymore. That is
people. I'm really curious about the streamers that you brought up. Like that, you and I could each name half a dozen guys who have made a career out of streaming that game. And if they pick up any other game, their audience wishes they were playing Tarkov.
Gray Zone's the one of the newer Tarkov clones, and it's very close. It's still in early access. It's not released yet. It's not just early access. It's like pre-alpha or whatever you'd want to call it. Like only early access for streamers and shit. It would seem like I can't play the game, but that game seems very close. It's just a clone, and there's 2 or 3 more. Something is going to knock them off now. And here's the reason this is all happening. They spent a huge amount of their money, not on developing, not on anti-cheat, which is their biggest problem, but on promoting the arena mode that they dropped back last fall. And they thought this new game mode that cost $40, which we got for free because we had EOD. We didn't have to tack on $40. This new arena mode that's just, instead of this heavy, in-depth storyline quest with thousands of hours required, it's just get in there and get after it kind of mode of their game. Very simplified, like 4 versus 4 or 5 versus 5 or something. Arena mode. It bombed. Nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. There's no way anybody's playing it right now. I bet you'd have a hard time getting a match. And I think they wasted tens of millions of dollars, not just on developing it, because most of it was already there, but on promoting it, because they were doing all of the big trade shows, all of the big like E3 and stuff like that. And they did range days where they'd have like spend $3 or $4 million, and they'd fly all their content creators out. They'd shoot machine guns and shit and do promo and stuff. And all that money just went poof, and it's gone. And now they're trying to make up for it. I'm sure there's investors that are wanting their paydays. It's a goddamn shame because it's a great game, but that's a bridge too far for me. That's like
terrible
a slap in the
developing
face.
company, though, right? Somebody had a real gem of an idea 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was, to build a shooter that was hyper realistic, and the gun play, like the gun knowledge, the way that you assemble your guns and your shields and stuff is so realistic and complicated. You practically need a tour guide to get started with it. And everything else pales in comparison after you experience the complexity of what is real life guns and gun building. And since then, it seems like they haven't done anything right. Their anti-cheat is absolutely awful. What it is too much of it was built into the client side. So you can't really detect cheaters if everything's happening on my system. Like, you tell me if you got the hit. Yeah, I'll let you know. And that's how the software works by and large. You tell me if where you are. I'm flying. Okay, if you say so. But that stuff needs to happen on the server side where there's more rules. And it is hard to tell the difference between, say, dropped packets between my computer and yours and cheats. So, I just run a little faster. I don't cheat, but people run a little faster. People fly a little bit. And I can't tell if you're flying or if you just drop some packets and zipped over there. I don't know.
And it's such a punishing game that there's a cheat that makes it so when your legs are broken, you can still run and don't worry about it. Oh my God, it's such a big deal. In the game, when your legs are broken, it's like, well, they got me. They got me now. Like when you see a guy running through a field, it's hard to hit him right in the head because he's running, and it's like real life trying to use a rifle. It's hard. Shoot him in the legs. Shoot him in the legs, and he's crippled out there. He starts walking at the speed of smell or something. And you can just pick him off. I don't know.
The game is the category of it is a looter shooter. So you go out into this field, you kill people, and you bring back the stuff you want to have. It gives you money, makes your character better next time around. Well, your client knows where all the stuff is. It knows where all the valuable loot is. So if your client is a cheat, it tells me, right? If it was all server side like it was supposed to be, then that information wouldn't be available for me to cheat. But here we are.
Yeah. Extraction. That's what it is.
So these are all the flaws in a otherwise the best available game.
It's a poorly written game around a fantastic idea.
It's so fun to play because in Call of Duty, you just kind of like pick a gun and go shoot at people. In this game, there's this in-game currency that you are always trying to accrue and make more of, rubles, and you use that to buy new guns. And now you own that gun, and it's in your like stash in the game. But then when you want to go play, you're like, all right, I'll take this gun in. If you die, I'm picking that shit up and I'm taking it back to my stash, and I can use it later on, or I could sell it for rubles myself and keep the money flow going. So there's also quests that keep the players like always grinding for more things and going to these locations. So you're always bumping into people and having these very intense gunfights. There'll be gunfights where like I kill your buddy and you kill my buddy and we're on the other side of a wall, and I'll be like, bro, yeah, can we just like rewind a little? I feel like things got out of hand there. Like your boy's dead, my boy's dead. How about we just go our separate ways? I pick my guy's shit up, you pick your guy's shit up, and I'm trying to get out of here. I got some circuit boards. I need to get back home. And he'd be like, dude, I got circuit boards too. Yeah, let's do that. And it'll be straight because he'll legitimately like be honest about it. And you'll both just leave and go your separate ways. That happens so much because the punishment for us fighting and losing isn't worth it. It's like real life a little bit. You'd probably do the same thing,
I love these stories because Kyle in real life has maxed out charisma, and he uses that to his advantage in a shooting video game. And it works. It works. I feel like my autistic ass would get shot in the ass.
I wanted to